When people think of Catholic churches in America, they often picture the world-famous landmarks like St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York or the Great Basilica in Washington, District of Columbia. But beyond those familiar images lies a story that many do not realize. The United States is home to some of the largest Catholic churches on earth, sacred spaces that rival the cathedrals of Europe not only in size, but in beauty, history, and spiritual meaning. From the glass-walled Christ Cathedral in California to the mosaic-covered Basilica of St. Louis, these churches stand as monuments to faith and culture, each one reflecting the community that built it. Some are centuries old, rooted in the traditions of immigrants who carried their devotion across the ocean. Others are surprisingly new, rising in fast-growing cities where Catholic life is expanding at an incredible pace. In this journey, we will count down the 10 biggest Catholic churches in the United States, starting with the smaller giants and moving step by step toward the largest Catholic church in North America. A place so vast and inspiring that it has become a national symbol of faith. This video is part of a series exploring Catholic pilgrimage sites, sacred destinations for Catholics around the world. If you enjoy this topic, please remember to like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. 1. Holy Name Cathedral, Chicago, Illinois. In the very center of Chicago, where skyscrapers tower and the streets never sleep, stands Holy Name Cathedral, a church that welcomes just over 2,000 worshipers. Compared to the monumental basilicas we will see later, its size may appear modest, yet it remains the spiritual heartbeat of one of the largest Catholic archdioceses in the United States. For countless Catholics across the Midwest, this cathedral is not only a place of worship, but also a sign of unity, history, and resilience. What immediately captures attention inside Holy Name Cathedral are the soaring wooden beams shaped like tongues of fire. This striking design symbolizes the descent of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost, filling the entire sanctuary with an atmosphere of life and energy. Instead of being static, the flames seem alive, almost reminding each person that faith is meant to move, to burn brightly, and to inspire action. The message is unmistakable. The spirit that once empowered the apostles continues to guide the church today. Holy Name Cathedral also tells a story of rebuilding and endurance. It rose after the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 when much of the city lay in ruins. In those years, immigrants from Ireland, Italy, Poland, and many other nations were arriving seeking both work and community. For them, Holy Name was more than a church. It was an anchor in a new land, a place where families celebrated baptisms, weddings, and holy days together. Each generation left its mark, weaving the cathedral's history into the broader story of Chicago itself. In our modern world where life often feels uncertain, Holy Name Cathedral offers a reminder that faith can provide stability and meaning. It shows that greatness is not always measured by square footage, but by the depth of belief and the endurance of tradition. For today's visitors, stepping inside this cathedral is stepping into a living testimony. Faith may flicker, but when it is nurtured, it never fades. It becomes a fire that lights the way forward. From this symbol of strength in Chicago, our journey continues to California, where a cathedral made almost entirely of glass transforms sunlight into a sacred vision unlike anything else in the United States. 2. Christ Cathedral, Garden Grove, California. Once called the Crystal Cathedral, this remarkable church in Garden Grove is now known as Christ Cathedral, and it can welcome around 2,248 worshipers under its striking glass roof. What sets this cathedral apart is not only its size, but also its story of transformation. Originally built as a Protestant megachurch, it became one of the most iconic Catholic churches in the United States after its conversion and dedication in 2019. The building is made of more than 10,000 panes of glass, creating a sanctuary where sunlight floods every corner, turning the space into a shimmering vision of light and reflection. This design is more than aesthetic. It reminds every visitor that faith is meant to be transparent and open, allowing God's presence to shine through just as naturally as the daylight. For Catholics living in modern cities filled with distractions and noise, Christ Cathedral offers a lesson. Even in a world of technology and constant activity, sacred spaces can be designed to lift our minds and hearts toward heaven, showing that beauty itself can be a path to God. Today, the cathedral also serves as the central church of the Diocese of Orange, one of the fastest growing Catholic dioceses in the nation, where diverse communities gather and fill the space with prayer in multiple languages. This diversity is a living reflection of Catholic life in America, reminding us that the church grows stronger when it welcomes every culture and voice. For those seeking inspiration, Christ Cathedral demonstrates that renewal is always possible. What was once a symbol of one tradition has become a home for another, proving that faith can adapt, transform, and still remain rooted in eternal truth. From this cathedral of glass and light, our journey now shifts to New York City, where Gothic spires rise high above the streets of Manhattan, standing as a powerful witness to Catholic faith in the very center of America's busiest metropolis. 3. St. Patrick's Cathedral, New York City, New York. Rising proudly in the very heart of Manhattan, St. Patrick's Cathedral is one of the most recognized Catholic landmarks in the entire United States. With seating for about 2,400 worshipers, it may not be the largest in raw capacity, but it welcomes millions of visitors every year, making it one of the most visited churches in the nation. Its iconic twin spires, climbing more than 330 feet into the sky, dominate the skyline even as they stand shoulder to shoulder with modern skyscrapers, reminding everyone that faith continues to hold a place in the busiest city in America. Built in the 19th century during a time when Catholic immigrants faced discrimination and hardship, this cathedral became not only a place of worship but also a declaration of resilience, dignity, and belonging. Its neo-Gothic architecture, stained glass windows, and grand marble altars combine to create an atmosphere that is both majestic and deeply spiritual, allowing every person who steps inside to feel lifted above the rush of daily life. For today's world, St. Patrick's carries a lesson worth remembering. No matter how fast or demanding life becomes, making space for faith provides a perspective that nothing else can offer. In a society driven by schedules, technology, and constant noise, this cathedral stands as an invitation to pause, breathe, and rediscover the deeper meaning of life. It proves that even in a city where space is precious and time feels short, the presence of the sacred can never be crowded out. From the Gothic spires of New York, our journey takes us south to Texas, where the size of a cathedral is not only measured by stone walls and seating capacity, but also by the astonishing number of faithful who gather there week after week. 4. Cathedral Santuario de Guadalupe, Dallas, Texas. In the vibrant city of Dallas stands the Cathedral Santuario de Guadalupe, a church that not only offers more than 2,500 seats, but also serves as the spiritual home for one of the largest Catholic communities in the nation. What makes this cathedral truly remarkable is not simply its capacity, but the overwhelming number of faithful who gather there week after week. On any given Sunday, close to 11,000 people attend Mass, filling the church and surrounding grounds with prayer music and a sense of unity that few places in the United States can match. This immense turnout reflects the rapid growth of Catholicism in Texas, fueled largely by Latino communities whose devotion and family traditions have become a driving force for the church's future. The cathedral itself, originally built in the 19th century and later expanded, now represents both history and growth, standing as a symbol of how the church continues to adapt and thrive in changing times. Its soaring spire, stained glass windows, and dedication to Our Lady of Guadalupe connect the faithful to a tradition deeply rooted in both Mexican and American Catholic identity. For the modern believer, the message of this cathedral is clear. Faith is not just about a building, but about people who bring it to life. When thousands gather together, the strength of community is felt in a way that no single individual could create alone. In a society where many feel isolated or divided, the Cathedral Santuario de Guadalupe reminds us that faith draws people into a family that crosses languages, cultures, and generations. It is a lesson worth carrying into everyday life. When we unite in what truly matters, we become stronger than any challenge ahead. Leaving behind the vast crowds of Dallas, our journey now takes us to Missouri, where one of the nation's most breathtaking cathedrals tells its story not through size alone, but through millions of brilliant mosaic tiles that cover its walls and ceilings like a living work of sacred art. 5. Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis, Missouri. With seating for about 2,500 people, the Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis is not only one of the largest churches in the Midwest, but also one of the most breathtaking in the entire world. What makes this cathedral extraordinary is its mosaics. Covering more than 83,000 square feet, it contains one of the largest collections of mosaics on Earth. Crafted over decades by skilled artisans, these millions of tiny glass and stone pieces shimmer in radiant colors, transforming the interior into a jewel box of sacred art. Walking through the nave, every wall and ceiling seems alive with biblical stories, saints, and symbols of the faith, reminding the faithful that beauty itself can be a path toward encountering God. Built in the early 20th century, the cathedral's Romanesque and Byzantine influences make it stand out against the surrounding city, while its iconic green dome has become a landmark visible from afar. Yet its significance goes beyond artistry. The Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis represents the devotion of generations of Catholics who gave their time, resources, and talents so that their community could worship in a place worthy of the divine. For today's world, where many people often measure value only in terms of efficiency or speed, this cathedral reminds us that some of the most meaningful things in life take patience, sacrifice, and collaboration. The mosaics, each no larger than a fingernail, come together to form a masterpiece that could never be achieved by one person alone, just as the church is built not by individuals working in isolation, but by communities united in faith. It is a living lesson that even in a society where instant results are expected, lasting beauty and deep spiritual meaning are born from endurance and shared vision. From the mosaic-covered walls of Missouri, our journey takes us north to Minnesota, where a cathedral crowned with a soaring dome rises high above the city, ready to welcome thousands into its vast sacred space. This video is part of a series exploring Catholic pilgrimage sites, sacred destinations for Catholics around the world. If you enjoy this topic, please remember to like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. 6. Cathedral of St. Paul, Minnesota. Standing high on Summit Hill, the Cathedral of St. Paul is a Beaux-Arts masterpiece that can accommodate close to 3,000 worshippers beneath its majestic dome, which rises more than 300 feet into the sky. Completed in 1915, this cathedral is not only an architectural triumph, but also a powerful reminder of the immigrant communities, many from Ireland, Germany, Italy, and Eastern Europe, who sacrificed their time, labor, and resources to build something truly monumental. Its design was inspired by the great churches of Europe, with a massive copper-clad dome, marble columns, and sweeping arches that draw the eye upward, reminding the faithful to lift their hearts toward God. The interior is equally striking, filled with side chapels that honor the patron saints of different ethnic groups, each reflecting the cultural roots of the Catholic families who helped establish the church in the Midwest. This blending of cultural heritage with sacred space makes the Cathedral of St. Paul more than just a place of worship. It is a living testimony to unity, perseverance, and the belief that faith can shape not only personal lives but entire cities. For the modern visitor, the lesson here is clear. Just as immigrants once joined together to build a cathedral that would last for generations, we too are called to invest in values that endure beyond the present moment. In an age when nearly everything is measured in quick results or fleeting trends, this cathedral teaches that true greatness is achieved through patience, sacrifice, and a vision that extends far beyond ourselves. It is a reminder that faith, when nurtured, is not only a private devotion, but a legacy we leave for the future. From this monumental dome in Minnesota, our journey now carries us westward to California, where Los Angeles is home to a strikingly modern cathedral that crowns the city with bold lines, light-filled spaces, and a design unlike any other Catholic church in the nation. 7. Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels, Los Angeles, California. In the heart of Los Angeles rises the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels, a strikingly modernist church that was dedicated in 2002 and can welcome close to 3,000 worshippers. Unlike the Gothic or Beaux-Arts cathedrals built in earlier centuries, this cathedral embraces a bold architectural vision designed by the Spanish architect Rafael Moneo, with adobe-colored walls and minimalist lines that honor California's mission heritage while also pointing the church toward the new century. The building stretches more than 11 stories high, covering 58,000 square feet, and its angular design avoids traditional symmetry, reminding the faithful that the journey of faith is not always straightforward, but full of turns that lead us closer to God. Inside, massive alabaster windows filter the sunlight into a warm golden glow, filling the sanctuary with a sense of peace that contrasts with the constant movement of Los Angeles outside. The tapestries depicting saints from every continent reinforce the cathedral's role as a spiritual home for one of the most diverse Catholic communities in the United States, reflecting a church that is truly universal. For today's world, the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels delivers an important message. Tradition and innovation are not enemies, but partners. Just as the cathedral integrates mission history with modern design, our own faith can remain rooted while also adapting to the challenges of modern life. It is a reminder that Catholics are called not only to preserve the past, but also to shape the future with courage, creativity, and conviction. And as we leave Los Angeles, our journey takes us north into California's Central Valley, where an even newer giant has emerged, a parish so large that it has quickly become the biggest Catholic church of its kind in North America. 8. St. Charles Borromeo Church, Visalia, California. Opened in 2023, St. Charles Borromeo Church in Visalia has quickly gained recognition as the largest parish church in North America, with seating for more than 3,100 people. Unlike many of the older cathedrals that dominate this list, this parish is a symbol of the present and the future of Catholic life in the United States. Built in California's Central Valley, an area known for its agricultural roots and diverse population, the church reflects the extraordinary growth of Catholic communities in the region. Its design embraces elements of California mission revival architecture, creating a connection to the state's Catholic heritage, while its sheer size responds to the practical needs of a rapidly expanding population of faithful. What makes St. Charles Borromeo truly remarkable is not only its vast capacity, but also the diversity of those who gather within its walls. Families from Latino, Asian, European, and African backgrounds come together each week, united by the sacraments and the gospel. This reality illustrates one of the most important lessons for today. The church thrives when it embraces cultural richness and builds bridges between communities rather than divisions. In a time when society often feels fragmented and many people feel disconnected, this parish shows that faith can be the common ground where people discover belonging and purpose. The story of St. Charles Borromeo is not just about numbers or square footage. It is about a living church that continues to grow, adapt, and serve, proving that the Catholic faith is deeply rooted and vibrantly alive in the heart of California. From this modern giant of California's Central Valley, our journey now takes us to Indiana, where the Basilica of the Sacred Heart at a world-renowned university rises proudly, combining academic tradition with a sacred mission that has inspired generations. 9. Basilica of the Sacred Heart, Notre Dame, Indiana. With a spire soaring more than 200 feet into the sky and a capacity that welcomes thousands, the Basilica of the Sacred Heart stands as both the spiritual center of the University of Notre Dame and one of the most magnificent Catholic churches in the Midwest. Completed in 1888, this Gothic Revival Basilica is famous for its breathtaking interior, filled with golden accents, stained glass windows imported from France, and historic murals painted by Luigi Gregori, an artist who once served as the Vatican's painter. Every detail of the basilica reflects a commitment to beauty and learning, reminding all who enter that faith and reason are meant to work together. Beyond being a campus church, it is a sacred space where students, faculty, alumni, and pilgrims gather for prayer and liturgy, making it a bridge between academic life and spiritual devotion. The basilica's towering spire, gleaming in sunlight, has become an unmistakable landmark visible for miles around, serving as a constant reminder that education without faith remains incomplete. For today's world, where the pressure to succeed often overshadows the need for reflection, the Basilica of the Sacred Heart delivers a vital lesson. True knowledge must be paired with wisdom rooted in God, and true success is measured not only by achievements but by the values we uphold. Its very presence on a university campus teaches that faith has a rightful place in shaping future leaders, guiding them to serve with integrity, humility, and vision. This church, with its radiant beauty and enduring mission, continues to inspire generations who pass through its doors, proving that when faith is given a foundation, it leaves an imprint that lasts far beyond a single lifetime. And now we arrive at the pinnacle of our journey, the largest Catholic church in the entire United States, a national shrine that stands as both a monument of devotion and a symbol of Catholic life across North America. 10. Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, Washington, District of Columbia. The Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception is often called the crown jewel of American Catholicism, and with good reason. Encompassing more than 19,000 square meters of interior space, it holds the title of the largest Catholic church in the United States and the largest in all of North America. Dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary under her title as the Immaculate Conception, this basilica is not only an architectural marvel, but also a national symbol of faith that draws pilgrims from every corner of the globe. Inside, more than 80 chapels and oratories honor Mary under different cultural titles, from Our Lady of Guadalupe to Our Lady of Czestochowa, reflecting the rich diversity of Catholic devotion in America. Its massive Great Dome rising over 300 feet and the soaring Knights Tower dominate the skyline of Washington, serving as a constant reminder that faith continues to have a visible presence at the heart of the nation. Completed over the course of nearly a century with contributions from Catholics of every background, the Basilica represents the enduring dedication and sacrifice of generations who wanted to leave a lasting witness to their belief. For modern visitors, it offers more than breathtaking beauty. It offers a sense of unity in a world too often divided. Each chapel, each mosaic, and each prayer whispered within its walls carries the message that Catholicism in America is not tied to one language or culture, but is truly universal. In today's fast-paced society, this basilica stands as a reminder that faith requires patience and perseverance, much like its own long construction which spanned decades before being completed. Its very existence teaches that when communities dedicate themselves to a vision greater than any one person, they can build something that endures far beyond their own time. From the historic streets of Chicago to the towering basilica in Washington, these churches are not defined only by their square footage or seating capacity, but by the faith, sacrifice, and vision of the generations who built them. Each cathedral tells a story of communities that believe that their devotion should leave a lasting mark, offering us a reminder that true greatness in the church is measured not in size alone, but in the depth of love and unity. In today's world where so much feels temporary, these sacred spaces stand as enduring witnesses that what we build for God lasts forever. This video is part of a series exploring Catholic pilgrimage sites, sacred destinations for Catholics around the world. If you enjoy this topic, please remember to like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments below.